Hello everyone. Welcome to my channel. It's Sean from Sean K Beauty, and this is Sean K's Beauty Bar, where we grab from the bar and discuss all things beauty. So hello if you're new to my channel. My name is Sean. A very warm welcome to you. My background is microbiology and biochemistry, and I bring that to your questions. For the past few weeks, we've been doing an acne series, and we're in the tail end here. And I am, for the past few days, answering a few questions that you all have left in the comment section below and targeting a few of them at a time, where I feel all of us can evolve and hopefully you glean some insight, you get some education on what I'm divulging with my background being heavily science-based and making the best informed decisions before going in and using acne products. So let's get right into this video because this is going to be a good one. And what I really want to target in this video, since I've gotten a lot of feedback in the comment section, is about tretinoin. Some of you have been borrowing tretinoin from friends and family, relatives who've been prescribed tretinoin, and you've been seeing the adverse reactions happening to your skin. So I want to get into that. That means that maybe you don't know enough about tretinoin, and you're seeing the results from a friend or family member and thinking that it's going to be okay for you to use it. Others of you have shared with me that it's been prescribed by a dermatologist. So that is the way you want to go, right? So let's get right into this video. I'm going to break down the facts about tretinoin, what it is, what it does, side effects, but I'm also going to talk in this video also about retinol damage, what to do when you're experiencing retinol damage. Like I told you in a previous video, I want to talk about that some more. So that's what we're going to cover today. And I also want to touch on just a bit about having ingrown hairs that is leaving scarring in the skin, just because we talked about scarring in my previous video due to different types of acne. Ingrown hairs are one that kind of look like almost acne, but isn't, and it does end up leaving scarring behind when you're not doing the right things to get that ingrown hair out. So we've got a lot to cover, and I'm going to definitely break this down as simple as I can, and hopefully this is going to give you a lot of background and a lot of insight so that you can make your best informed decision moving forward. So let's get right into this. So what is tretinoin really? It is a synthetic derivative of vitamin A. Okay, it is synthesized from your beta carotene. Here's a molecule of tretinoin. It's a good sized molecule. We know it typically from, or the name retin or retin micro, and they deliver tretinoin to you differently. So your retin micro is going to deliver this to you in a much slower rate, okay, a much slower absorption rate. When we talked about this in my previous video, I think 2 videos, when we talked about molecule size, the bigger the molecule, the slower it is to absorb into the skin and the less irritating it's going to be. So retin micro is going to be that delivers tretinoin to you at a much slower absorption rate and therefore giving you less irritation. Retin A, on the other hand, will cause and can cause severe irritation to you because it's just that much more aggressive. And you'd hear a lot of people talk about how aggressive it's been to their skin. What's annoying for them is the drying, the irritation, the flaking, and when they're putting on sunscreen or any other product, it's burning their skin. You know, there's influencers that I've been corresponding with as well who've been using retin-A, and when they put on foundation, it's starting to burn and they want to know why. So that's some of the effects you're going to see happening with something like a retin-A. The reason why I stress going and getting this prescribed to you is because, again, everything doesn't work for everyone, and dermatologists actually will have you to prep the skin before using tretinoin. And I don't know if a lot of you know that, but that is something that's vitally key before using a tretinoin. Instead of washing your face twice daily, for instance, they will tell you to wash your face once daily, right? For like 2 weeks before you go into using your tretinoin. They'd also tell you to peel back on using serums, toners, etc., and to go into something that's more of a gentle cleanser and just a pH balanced moisturizer and using your tretinoin. So these are some of the things they will tell you to do, preparing your skin before you start using tretinoin. Another thing too, when you start using this, is that you really need to be using a sunscreen. And I know that the chemical and physical sunscreens actually burn when you use tretinoin. I've heard a lot of people complain about that. So I wanted to recommend a really great mineral sunscreen that is getting a lot of attention, and this is the Australian Gold SPF, and they have one of SPF 50. When you're using tretinoin, it's vitally important, or a retin-A, that you're going in at least twice or 3 times a day reapplying your sunscreen to the skin. So you're not just putting this on once, you're going to have to put this SPF on a number of times. Why? Because tretinoin and the sun will darken your skin really badly, increasing your hyperpigmentation, and another side effect, giving you hypersensitivity. When you even touch your skin, it's irritated so badly that you don't even want to, manipulate the skin's barrier at all. They'd also tell you to stay away from masks and exfoliants prior to, and even a lot of the times when using tretinoin. And the reason why I'm saying that is because tretinoin is already one that is going to be resurfacing the skin, and exfoliants and pretty much our clay masks are kind of like, eating at that skin's barrier as well. So you definitely don't want to do that and then go into using tretinoin. So that's why I'm saying, please do not use your friend or family's tretinoin, because these protocols need to be followed before using this product. It's not just a matter of using the product and then using the other products that you're already using, right? Because we really need to know, are the products that you're using conducive with using tretinoin? I talked about hypervitaminosis, where you store up more vitamin A than you need to, and it becomes toxic to you. So here's the thing. If you're taking a multivitamin or something that is enriched in vitamin A and you're taking tretinoin, you're actually accumulating a lot of vitamin A. So if you have a multivitamin with vitamin A in it, you want to put that to the side and not use that while you're using your tretinoin. Tretinoin absorbs into the skin 1 to 8% into your bloodstream, okay? So this means that even though you're seeing the effects of this really helping with your acne and your blemishes and your hyperpigmentation and diminishing the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles, the body is still needing to be detoxed from using something like this. In fact, dermatologists would tell you to follow the instructions to the wire once or twice a week. Don't go any more than that. And I would say, if you can get your hands on something that is detoxifying, like a detox tea, you want to ingest that. Help the kidneys and the liver to flush out what is being absorbed into your bloodstream from tretinoin. The thing about this, guys, is that we are not just using tretinoin, right? We're using, if you're using makeup, that is absorbing into the skin. If you're using sunscreen, that is being absorbed into the skin. And all of this is needing to be detoxed out of the body. So we're exposing ourselves to a lot of chemicals using different products. Then we're throwing in actives to help us counteract our concerns. We're putting the liver and the kidneys under a great deal of pressure to try to detox. Now, there's also a concern with tretinoin and bone toxicity. And so some dermatologists would recommend that you go and get that checked after so many years of use or months of use. So we, again, want to make sure that we're doing our due diligence. Yes, beautiful skin is great, but if it's going to have a negative connotation happen to some other part of us, we need to know that too, and we need to know how to rectify that moving forward with having beautiful skin. So that's what I'm going to say about your tretinoin. Now let's talk about retinol, okay? And I'm just going to touch on this a bit. All right, so there are some dermatologists who are not recommending retinol anymore. It's slowly but surely them pulling back on prescribing it. And not that they have anything against it or that it doesn't work. Their whole stance is what it does to their candidates. And is it really worth it? And that's what I've shared with a lot of you. When I give you insight, I give you the side effects of something, I'm not trying to take the place of your doctor. I'm giving you education to really have you sit down and evaluate, is this going to be worth it? Am I going to be able to live with what this will do in the process of me getting clear skin? And or do I need to seek an alternative route that is going to be less of an irritant with less side effects? So dermatologists are really pumping the brakes, some of them, from prescribing this because it's causing the severe burning, the irritation, and if you're not putting on SPF 2 to 3 times a day, the hypersensitivity that's happening, the darkening of the skin that's happening, and a lot of the times with retinol too, if you're not the ideal candidate for this, and we've seen a lot of people with this adverse reaction, you end up looking older as opposed to looking younger, okay? And let's just picture for a second a factory that is their run-of-the-mill operations, right? They have these machines that are assembling certain things together. It's a rhythm, right? That's how Mother Nature is with our aging process. It's a rhythm, just a rhythm. But imagine throwing that rhythm into all of this crazy, fast-paced, chaotic movements. What you're gonna have is a lot of problems happening because the machinery is calibrated to work at a rhythm. So when we start speeding up the processes of things, there's bound to be some malfunction happening. And that's what happens a lot of the times with retinol. It's speaking to the cells to not operate at that rhythm anymore, but to speed up that rhythm. And lipid adhesion is compromised, and we start to see deeper wrinkles happening. We start to see severe irritation and burning. We start to see scarring. And that is one of the things that I wanted you all to realize when we're talking about putting these actives on. And that's why I really don't want my friends here to try this stuff at home unless it is prescribed by your dermatologist. I know it's not popular. I have a whole entire video speaking to the truth about retinol. You can definitely check that out. But I'm letting you all know that there's side effects with everything that we're doing. And when we're taking in these medications, whether it is orally or on or topically, we definitely are needing to detox some way the kidneys and the liver. And I'll tell you, when it comes to detoxification, you'll start to even see more clear skin, believe it or not. So that might be something you want to take into consideration as well. Okay, friends, so let's talk about taking tretinoin as a pill. Okay, so oral medication. And Soph, I know this was a question that you were asking me about, namely, you know, Accutane. So Accutane has now been rebranded as isotretinoin, and a lot of dermatologists are not prescribing that anymore because they're finding it to compromise your bowels. Now, side effects of Accutane has been extreme, and I knew when I took it for that 5 months, it was severe, like aggressive behavior that was happening, and I couldn't understand why. It does cause suicidal thoughts, it does cause aggressive behavior. It does take a toll on the liver, and again, I just mentioned it is pretty much coming to a halt because doctors are now finding it's taking a toll on your bowels. Tretinoin, when you take this orally, is known to cause like fever and headaches and tiredness, fatigue. It also causes you to have shivering. Okay, so there are some serious side effects that are coming with taking these oral medications. Yes, they are helping with our acne, but the thing is, we need to detox, and I'm really stressing detoxing because again, this stuff is going into our bloodstream, and our body is just going to have to work overtime to really get this out of our systems. So the key then becomes really, finding detoxifying ways to really flush out the system so that this does not build up in the kidneys and in the liver. Okay, so help your organs out a little bit here. Another thing too that I really want to touch on before I start going into the ingrown hairs and scarring is that we really don't want to use this stuff for a very long period of time. I know there are women that have been using retinols for 28 years and all of this stuff, but you don't see what's going on under the microscope. And again, I mentioned this in a previous video. I definitely say to go ahead and check that out. To 15 and 16 and 19-year-olds who have used retinol and they have seen the adverse reaction. I remember there was one particular subscriber that said he was always told that he looks young, and then when he started using retinol, people would always ask him if he's 30 something years old. Well, it started to make him look older as opposed to make him look younger. And this is what I'm saying here to everyone. Everything that everyone is using that's giving them that outward appearance of beautiful skin may not work for you, and at the same time may not even be what you need. Okay, especially when you're 15 and 16, you want to seek a dermatologist if you're having that the hormonal changes and the adolescent acne. You don't just want to sit on YouTube and listen to somebody tell you, go ahead and get a retinol, and you haven't seen a professional. Seeking professionals are important because they're the ones who've been to school for it. However, I do know that even with me and telling you guys my story, I had to seek a second opinion, and it was just a matter of going on a acne system, which was like cleanser, toner, serum that I could use on my skin, as opposed to taking something as aggressive as Accutane. So a second opinion is always, I say strongly, get a second opinion, okay? And not try to lean on your own understanding by using your cousins or your friends' tretinoin or any sort of retinol cream. So that's what I'm going to say to that. Let's go into ingrown hairs and what you need to know about dealing with the scarring that happens from that and what you can do to really help ingrown hairs kind of have a way of coming out as opposed to you pulling them out. All right? All right, friends. So we want to talk about ingrown hairs. This is when the hair coils back over and starts growing sideways under the skin. Okay, so the one thing, and this is me talking to you as your microbiologist friend, the thing that you don't want to do is pick at that with a tweezer or anything that is going to cause a portal of entry for bacteria to enter. So that's the one thing we don't want to do. Ingrown hairs can mimic that of acne or bumps, like the raised bumps, and you kind of see the hair stuck on the inside of that raised bump. And so the temptation is to pick it with a tweezer. Here's the thing, guys. When we're working in a lab, we have to aseptically clean everything. That is countertops, that is wearing gloves and washing our hands. Before we put on our gloves, that is our tools. We do autoclaving. A lot goes into prepping before doing an experiment. So I'm sure a lot of people are not doing that before they start going into their bathrooms to manipulate the skin's barrier. Now, I'm not saying do all of that and then start picking at it. No, I'm saying don't do that at all. There's actually a serum called Tend Skin. This is about $15.99. It will actually help that hair to loosen up and come out so that you don't find yourself manipulating. One of the things that you can do is keep that area clean as much as possible. You don't want to shave that area when you start having ingrown hairs. You're going to use that Tend Skin. Let that hair breathe and let it come out on its own. Don't go in with exfoliating or anything like that. Just allow the skin to work on its own while you're using that serum. Okay, that's the first thing that I want you to do. To the subscriber that actually told me this was an issue for them. So I'm going to leave the link to Tend Skin below. The next thing is, when you're about to shave, there's things that you can do to prevent ingrown hairs. Using a sharp razor, moisturizing the skin before and after, and cleaning that razor in between use. Next thing you want to do is exfoliation. Okay, frequent exfoliation of the skin will get rid of the dead cells, will get rid of the debris, and it will reduce ingrown hairs as well as scarring. If you're starting to see scarring, I've seen my friends do this. They would use aloe vera gel. Aloe is just a great antidote for healing the skin. So if you have scarring from picking at your ingrown hairs, I definitely say heal that area really fast with using some aloe vera and putting that gel on that area and then leaving it on for a few minutes and then rinsing it off. Definitely, I will say seek a dermatologist if this is severe, especially if you're a woman and you're dealing with that issue. You definitely want to seek a dermatologist if you've already manipulated that area and you've got severe scarring that needs some sort of brightening cream. Do not go into the drugstore or any sort of beauty supply store and grab a bleaching cream and manipulating your skin's barrier with that stuff. It can be way too aggressive, and you don't know if it's something that you need and if the products that you're using is going to counteract that or make it even more aggressive and become more of an irritant to you. So hopefully this video provided you guys some insight and helped you. If you're one with pores, I want to put this out there too. To help to minimize pores, charcoal masks are the best way to help to minimize your pores. It pulls out dirt, debris, makeup from settling deep within the pores, and pulls all of that out to the surface, therefore minimizing the appearance of your pores. So if you're not doing a charcoal mask, then I definitely recommend you get one. There is a good one from Biore that you can purchase from Target for about $6.97. And there's also one from Mary Kay that I just got in the mail that is about $24. They actually gave you a nice little black towel with it that you can actually use as well when you're using that charcoal mask. And you actually see it pulling the dirt out of the skin once you leave it on there for a while. And everybody raves about this charcoal mask. Remember, charcoal, activated charcoal, is an absorbent. It's going to pull out dirt, oil, and any residue that is packed in the pores. And when it pulls that out, you'll start to see the pores start to minimize in size. So I would incorporate a clay mask. Now, if you're using a tretinoin, then definitely I say you would want to talk to your esthetician or dermatologist before incorporating a clay mask or a charcoal mask, because I just talked to you guys about why you want to stay away from masks when you're using a tretinoin. So hopefully this was helpful to you all. If you have any questions, leave your comments down below. Remember, lifestyle does play into healthy skin as well. Eating a lot of leafy greens, detoxing that liver and kidneys with some sort of detoxifying tea or some sort of detox, and also being there to exercise. Keep the body moving. You all hear me often, I'm going running, which I'm about to do in a little bit. But these are some of the things that you can do. Changing out your bedding, washing your pillowcases frequently. Also, you know, I have a code here from Lily Silk. They just reached out to me, and you all know I mentioned in a previous video that I bought silk pillowcases from them. So they saw my video and sent me out a code, and you can use Sean12 and get 12% off your silk pillowcases. I don't get any commission for it, so I'll let you know that. So I'm just giving you the opportunity that you can go ahead and get yourself some silk pillowcases or a silk bonnet, something to really help the skin, especially when you're having skincare concerns like acne or, you know, oily skin. You want to rectify all of these skin concerns. There's practical things that you can actually do. Also, check me out on Instagram, because on this Saturday, I will be giving away a bundle from Lily Silk, which includes a silk pillowcase, a silk bonnet, and a night mask. So definitely check me out at Sean K Beauty on Instagram so that you can find out how to enter that giveaway for that silk bundle. Anyway, I love you all so much. I'm here for you. I want to help you through this. And please know that that's all this platform is about. It's about really corresponding with you, helping you through your skincare concerns. And again, not taking the place of a dermatologist, but giving you education and insight for you to make your best informed decision, especially now that most of us are in quarantine. I love you all so much, and I'll see you in my next one. Ciao for now.